Our first out and about. And this place has a couple of nice horses next to our trailhead. We're having a quick bite of grass. So here we go. Since he trailers now, it's time to get skittering on with our training to be out and about, because some of the best horses around, as you'll probably hear, are trail horses. And trail horses are fantastic usually because they've kind of been acclimatized to so many different places and things, environments, people, obstacles, compared to a barn horse, or a horse that just sort of hangs out in a barn a lot, I guess you could say. Now this is a trail called Trethaway. I've discussed this trail in the past with a couple other horses that I've shown with me out and about. As you can see on the ground, there is horse poop. So this is this is in fact, these tracks aren't too old. We might see somebody today. The city of Maple Ridge has for quite some time encouraged, obviously through our trail system, horseback riding and bike riding and hiking too. And so we have a multitude of trails to be on, and this is one of them. It's not very far away from home. We've taken a 5-minute trailer ride, to which he called out at least 20 times, wondering if he's leaving all of his buddies. Probably. The last time he was in a trailer, he had to leave everything he ever knew, as far as I'm aware. So here we are, out and about, and I thought I would bring you guys along in 360 because it's gorgeous out here, and this just has to be shared. It's lovely to be here. We're having a pause to listen in, and I thought I would share some of my tips, some of the thoughts that go through my mind when I have a horse out and about for the first time for me and them. Might not be for him. This is probably nothing. I can hear him crunching behind me. Look at that. He's thinking about eating ferns. You know, he's had his pause and he's listened up and he doesn't hear anything. There's nobody around. So because he's not sort of stalling out and he's not calling out right now, he's not doing a bunch of things that would really bother me. There are a lot of spider webs through this. I don't think anybody's been on this trail this morning, so we're not going to see anybody, I don't believe. There are a lot of signs that would put up red flags for me when I'm leading a horse through a trail. I've had a few sort of eventing or barn only horses. They don't go out on trails often. Come on. And as such, they come out on a trail and it's just foreign. So I try to be very understanding, and the way I sort of think about it, and I talk to other people, is I say, imagine somebody just plucked you out of your house, brought you to some jungle that you have no understanding of the plant life or the animals that live in it, and you've watched a lot of Rambo movies and you figure that everybody's at war, so you're wondering what's behind some tree all the time. And I think that's how horses sort of live their lives. A little bit of a lot of fear in their mind that anything's going to eat them, because they are, as we know, prey animals. Me being a predator, I'm less worried about being eaten, as I've never had the experience nor has it really crossed my mind. Now, look, you're right behind me, and it worries me a little. But so far, he's got some. I've got some distance. You can see here, and I think that's important to note, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the mindset of the horse out on the trail is important for him right now. I see or feel not much. He's kind of hungry. He's eating ferns. He's sort of catching up so he can stop. A lot of horses will do that. They'll skitter ahead and then they'll be able to get a couple of bites before you take your next 2 steps. I feel alert. I feel like I'm really listening. My ears are really out even though I'm talking. I've had a bit of experience of this, so my multitasking capabilities are pretty good, I think. And I know he is too. Guaranteed. He's wondering what's over there, what's with that log. See, I looked at that log, he might look at that log. Now I think, you know, what's over that way? Is there any noises? I think I heard something, maybe not. And that's how horses think, so we must think a little bit like them. But we must be the leader in regards to being the confident and calm and hopefully in control of one. And that will really, there goes a squirrel. He really boogied out of here. I wonder what he was chowing down on. Come on, big guy, let's go. So eating on a trail. I sometimes let a horse nibble away or something like that. If they can catch a bite on their way, no problem. I'd like them to continue doing what I'm doing or what I'd like them to be doing, because it means that I'm staying in sort of that leadership position. But I don't, it's kind of hard to explain the nuances of it in a sense, because I'm not going to try to be really hard about it. We want to be firm about it, but not hard. But it's important. And then, you know, at a point where we see a delicious looking plant that they'd probably chow down on, and we might say, hey, go ahead and chow down on that. And they will, and they'll think nothing of it. They'll think, finally, maybe, I guess. So we'll see as we go along. Right now, I just want him to walk with me. We are walking. This is our job. We have a goal. I'm very confident of where I want to be, how I want to get there, and the speed that I want to do it in. And he needs to truck along with me. That's how the herd works. This is what we're doing. And that's sort of the mentality. Not like, you're doing what I'm doing, or else. Like, this is what we're doing, so let's go. And I find that it works well for horses and humans. Change our mindset a little bit. Just be firm, kind. All this talking and climbing hills and stuff is putting me out of breath. I just noticed. Anyhow, leading distance. I teach a lot of safety. I have quite a few students that come to learn horsemanship. And we always talk about safety. And safety is number one, as I always say. I want everybody to go home in the same car they came in. I won't settle for anything less. Spider webs. So there are some schools of thought where you lead a horse close by, at a shoulder, at a nose, whatever. And my question to those thoughts, practices is, if you've got a horse right next to you and something happens, how much time do you have to react? How much time have you given yourself to either be big so you can get your horse to not run you over, or get out of the way so your horse doesn't run you over? Something came up behind us like a dog. How much time do I have with him back there? And I'm not going to be doing this kind of thing unless I've established the rules a long time ago that my space is very valuable. It's important to me. We're going to try to make it down to the water today. I have no idea what he's going to do, but I have a feeling I might be getting my boots wet. Excited. Kind of excited, to be honest. Changing boots when I get home. It's a sunny day, they'll dry off in a day. Usually I'll wear a grubby pair of shoes for this. Anyhow, so I never lead close up, not even, I mean, unless I break the rules, and then I know what breaking the rules means. Gosh, it's a beautiful morning, eh? And as such, it gives me a little bit more time to react. My senses are out. If there was such a thing as using the force, I'm using it. I am feeling like I'm trying to be well aware of everything around me. Sounds, you can hear the water coming up to the left. All kinds of good stuff. And I want him to know that he should be, you know, following along, but keep your distance, since we practice that an awful lot in the arena. And we must, for the times when we need it, when we're out here, out in the wild. Because I don't want him running me over. I don't want him crashing into me thinking that, you know, something is more, you know, a higher priority than me. He can make his way around, there's space. So we work on that with the flag or rope a little bit, and we'll use controlled situations of worry. It could be anything, it could be just another person. He's not... I know I'm kind of going against a little bit of what I've said, but I actually kind of feel like I want to have a stop too, so I just comply this time. Again, it's not a, what'd you find? Anything good? You really dug into that fern in there too. You didn't even take the top leaves off. So, so that's my spiel on leading, and it allows me also, because I will be less fearful, my horse will be less close to me, so I will feel more confident. And it allows me to stretch out my thoughts around me better. I can put him in a spot in my head behind me. I will imagine him in a rectangle that he lives in. He's fallen behind the rectangle. So if I had any trouble really bringing him along, I'm just kind of walk on and he comes with me. But if I had any trouble, I wouldn't treat it any different than I've taught him in the trailer with the bump, 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 which is why we do the bump, bump, bump in the trailer, or places of fear like that, so that we can train for other situations where he's like, hey, I just want to eat. And I'm like, nah, bump, bump, bump. And he'll say, oh, I know exactly what that means, and I know you're never going to give up. That's true. I will. I'll never give up. I'm going to continuously bump, bump, bump until I get a change. Otherwise, I'd feel unsure of how on earth you would teach. Bump, 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 bump. Come on, big guy, I know. I don't hear any bears, or his sense of smell will obviously be far superior. So if he smells something, then he'll catch it. But when horses do that, when they have a pause and they just want everything to be really quiet, I'll try to be quiet. Right now I'm talking to you guys, so it's constant buzz in his ears. Like, would you just be quiet so I can hear the surroundings, you noisy human? So dull. Just talk, talk, talk. Never shut up. It's true. But when a horse does kind of stop like that, I will go pretty quiet too, have a listen in. And if I feel like he's just listening, or if I feel like he's really alert and pointing his face towards something, I'll be a little more alert and check. But you want to quickly sort of take charge in a way, but not in a bad way, but just sort of take charge, like, you're fine. There's nothing out there. I don't know what you heard. I don't know what you smell. But let's get moving. We want to get moving. We want to move along. Keep shuffling. Normal herd behavior. Keep shuffling. Unless you need to face up to something, which is really rare. I think I've come across maybe 3 or 4 bears in my time. And every time you just kind of look at them and you wander on. There's no reason to charge, no reason to yell at them. We have reached the water. Okay, now this crossing is a very, very minor crossing. But I don't think I want to get my boots wet. I think we might just check it out. I don't think I want to get my boots wet. I don't know. I don't think he'll go in, but let's see if he'll just follow me down to the water a little. He's got to make his way down the step. I don't know if he will. You coming down? Come on, big guy. You don't have to jump it, just step down. Oh, big jump. Floppy flop. Okay, I'm gonna switch hands here. I'm gonna twist this around. Like so. I need to switch hands. So, because he's on my right hand side this whole time. I'll pet him. Hey, thanks for coming with me. We want to tell our horses we're quite happy. Now, it's a squeezy spot. I was excited until I thought about how cold it probably is. And I thought, I don't know. This is a good goal to make it down here and have him check it out. Hey, come here. You look awkward. Good boy. Okay. So, coming down to the water like this, come check it out and just be casual, chit-chat to the camera and stuff like that. It's good. Right? It's good. Next time we'll actually do the water at Alco Park, which has a very flat and non-rocky surface. I'm going to leave him up here. I'm not going to ask him to come down. I'll block him if he does because I don't want him down in this tiny space. But if you guys look down into the water a little, you should be able to see there's some big rocks. See there? Some big rocks and stuff that throw horses off quite a bit. So I learned a lot about crossing waterways in the time that I've done it, and I found that I really want to prep him well for this stuff. So we're going to be doing this water training in small, pebbly, sandy sort of location that has some rocks in it, so he can get used to the idea that that's where it'll be. This is pretty much the deepest spot, the entrance right here, and it is a lot of sand at first, but there's some big rocks in there that may throw him off, and me a little bit. You know, as humans, it's also a little bit hard to look inside the water and say, what's down there that I'm stepping on? Is it slippery? So we want to be safe, like I said, from the get-go. Good job, man. You look very calm and cool about it. We're not going to bother, though. Yes, I know. I just popped up onto the stair. Okay, then we're going to go back now. He's going to be probably quite content because I actually didn't want this to be a long trip. Anyways, so justification of how to not get my boots wet, my feet cold, legs cold. God knows how much splashing he'll do. But there are a multitude of other reasons that are very real and practical that my excitement wasn't thinking about in the beginning, because I do love water training. I've done quite a bit of water training here on this channel. You know, all you have to do is look around and you'll see I've done creek or stream or water training or something. I don't know what they're called. So now we're on our way back, and I'll switch hands again so I can have him in the frame, and he's just going to probably plod along behind me as we go back to the truck. Now, this is his first out and about with me. He had a big cry in the trailer, and I mean that in a sense. He called out an awful lot, and the cool thing is, I might try to get some video on the way back. I don't know if he'll cry out at all, but we passed by at least 5 or 6 horse properties, and a few of them. What are you doing? Come on, we're going back. Bub, bub. A few of them, the horses would come running out. They hear him crying and they cry out, and it's a fantastic sight to see. So we'll see if I can take I'll just chuck the camera out the window kind of thing. Being a 360 camera, we capture everything, which is handy. So off we go back up the trail, Trethaway. This is one of the branches. We passed by a branch of the trail that goes another way to another water crossing, and it's a little smaller but a little bit deeper. We're really plodding on the way home. It's unusual. Usually horses, when they figure they're going home, it's like, oh, finally we get to go home. So I'm quite encouraged by the fact that he's just not in a rush. So, this will probably be either here or Alco will be our first trail ride when we get to riding, which shouldn't be too long out. Now that all of his medical things have been taken care of, his feet have been taken care of, we're getting there. And we are really moving along with training. Getting past the trailer problem was a big deal. A little bit of grass in here for some reason. Okay, come on, big guy. That's good. 2 bites. Sort of have a 2-bite rule. I guess it sort of comes out when I say it there. I say 2 bites. Don't know why. Should be 3 bites. 4 bites. It sounds pretty good too. So maybe on our way home, I'll pick up the pace a little here. And we'll start getting moving. And I want him to come along. They come along. He says, I just plod along like a donkey. Make a good pack horse, this guy probably. Yeah, just plods along. Come on, big guy. Let's go. A little bit quicker. And where was I? Oh yeah, the branch of the I was going to talk about the branch of the trail. And it doesn't go much further, but the entrance to it is a lot less welcoming than that one we just saw there. Very rocky. Lots of round rock all over the place. I don't know if it's changed in the last year. I haven't been down there in a little while, but last time I went it was pretty rocky, uncomfortable. So I've just taken to coming this way. So it's a nice little urban forest we get to wander in. There's actually a yard. There's a little gate over that way. Somebody's yard is just over there. Part of the forest. No trespassing, it says. Don't come this way. I know how it feels to own a piece of forest. It's absolutely lovely. Get to wander around in your own slice of heaven. So here's our little branch. And each one leads to a different part of Maple Ridge. You get back up onto the streets. And wander over to the next trail and the next trail. We're all kind of interconnected. So that one goes to Ferguson Avenue, and this one goes to Trethaway Crescent, and the one we were on goes to 112th Avenue. If that would mean anything to anybody, I don't know. But that's where they go. So we're going to go back to Trethaway because that's where the truck is, obviously. That's where we arrived. Great parking spot. And usually in the morning it's very quiet. And this is when I want to be out. And also before the heat starts up. It's a pretty warm day today already. I'm getting my heart rate up with a little hike. On a side note, I saw Peggy today. She's doing nicely, looking good. Give her a little trimmy trim. Like seeing Peggy. She's a very soft horse, as you guys know. And communicative. It's kind of nice, actually. We'll talk about hoof trimming. This might not be the place to do it, but we want to try to listen to the horses of which leg they want first, how much they want done. If they want you to switch out midway, we can get an impression. Hopefully we make some educated guesses that are good. The tree came down. It's a hemlock. A lot of hemlocks growing out of cedar stumps around here. It's a cedar. That's a cedar. Oh. Big trees in here. This forest has been around for a little while. The one thing I really like about this trail, well, one of the many things, is there is a lot of great up and down. You could do this 3 or 4 times to the water and back. Just as a human, look at me. But it is warm to do. But as exercise for you and your horse, or just your horse if you're riding, or you as a rider, to practice going up and down and up and down. And there's lots of lefts and there's lots of rights. So it's not just a circular pattern. We have a few parks around here where you just make a circular pattern. It's go in a circle. But this one's got a lot of lefts and rights and ups and downs. And when we're riding in an arena, it's generally quite flat. We don't think about the oddball positions that we kind of have to be in here and there when we're riding on a trail, and you got to sit forward or sit back a little bit. Sometimes you really got to sit back if you're going downhill quite a bit. And you've got to get center of gravity good. And horses, oh, what are you doing? You got an itch? Well, scratch it. I always let a horse scratch their itches. Yeah, okay, let's go. Good work. Oh man, I lost my train of thought completely. That's what happens. Just lose your train of thought. Sorry, if it comes back to me, I'll continue this conversation in this video. So you're gonna be like, well, just rewind it a little, look back at what you were talking about. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, probably riding in an arena, being on flat land. And you're right, when you do that, it's very relatively easy. You keep sort of the same position all the time. But out on a trail, man, it is a totally different world. And I learned this the most. It really, really stuck with me the most on one of my first trail rides. Probably the first, maybe? I don't know. One of the first. And I've been riding in the arena, obviously learning how to ride. And it wasn't that long ago. In the grand scheme of things. 10 years or so, maybe a little more. And we went out on this trail, and I was like, I'm off balance all over the place. It was really uncomfortable. I was quite nervous, worried. Now, why is that? What's going on? I said, well, this is our first practice of being off balance due to angles and inertia through the grade of the ground. And then the horse will walk differently. They'll take different steps, different types of steps when they're going downhill, and they'll take different types of steps when they're going uphill. And you, especially going downhill, there'll be a lot of hip movement. And I find myself really trying to assist in being as light as possible, so that when going downhill, it's as easy as possible for the horse. Not throw them off balance and sit heavy. So it's great practice, good exercise, great practice for everybody involved. Anyways, a lot of tracks on the ground, horseshoes. Man, you are one slow monkey today, but I'm quite thankful. I'm not worried. I don't feel concerned. In fact, the longer we do this, the more confident I feel that we're not really going to have any trouble today. This is going to be a very uneventful but successful walk in a beautiful forest. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Good grief. Maybe he's getting tired. This poop here looks kind of fresh, you know. I swear there's been a horse. Was this my horse? Was this you? Did you just poop this? He might have just pooped that. Well, on our way, I'd have to look back in the video, but I don't think so. It doesn't smell. So it's not that fresh. I think it's probably from early morning or late last night. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm dragging him along now for this walk. He says, how much more we gotta go, Dad? You know, I could take your kids for a hike. Like, can we go back to the car? I've had that. Hot. So anyways, we might just end this here because sort of running out of stuff to talk about. Bump. On a, actually I will say what I'm doing. I'm kind of dragging them along a little bit. If, I think it's going to be a problem a little bit. So the way I would start to solve this, not on the trail, just like, okay, well, I guess we got to plod our way back. But I want him to keep up better. And so I would practice this a lot in the arena to where it becomes muscle memory, that when my feet pick up pace, he picks up a pace. I just want to pull. I don't want the halter to have constant pressure on him and have him not release himself from that. And so we would do walk, trot, transition changes in the arena so that when we get out to this trail, I start to walk a little quicker, he'll just, through muscle memory, just pick up. So, and that would be better for both of us. Okay, well, we're at the end. I think we've reached the end of the trail, which is good. I'm gonna head back home and get on with the next task of the day. But I thought I'd bring you guys along to enjoy a beautiful morning here. Oh, look at that little guy. What's he doing? He's thinking, oh, he's fast. Up he goes. Later, little buddy. Adorable little creatures all over the place. All right, well, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, the next one, we're out and about, will be Alco Park, and then Golden Ears Park, and then I want to get out to Stave Lake. So you guys, if you're wondering what these are, search them out online. Beautiful places to be, not very far away. Okay, we made it back to the truck. Yay! I'll see you guys in the next one.